Well, the lady in black, the track too tough to tame. This place comes with so many names, but none of them rhyme with easy. This track tonight is going to wreck some trucks like it did last night in the Cup Series race, but only 120 laps to survive tonight at Darlington Raceway. Welcome back to the Area Truck Series, round number 8 of the season in the area's Southern 170. Kyle Heyer joined by Connor Horn tonight. Connor, welcome aboard. And it's about time to go racing at the Lady in Black, going trucking tonight on a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday should be a fun one for sure. It was fun for me last night, so I'm happy about that. Got that win. I lucked into it, and we'll see if someone lucks into a win tonight. It's going to be a little tougher to do so because the amount of tire sets we had for a 200-lap race made a big difference in the strategy that got played at the end of that caution fest. 16 cautions over a 200-lap race is never good. A shorter race could mean more chaos because there's less time to get to the front. You don't have that luxury of having all the laps in the world, so the strategy might flip, and so might the driving.
Yeah, the strategy is absolutely going to be different tonight, but one of the major players to that is the tire. Last night we didn't see a lot of tire wear. We don't typically see a lot on the next-gen cars anyway, but we will on the trucks, even though we're running less speed, and we're running, notably, in the daytime, Connor. That's going to change things drastically as well.
Yeah, I think those times are going to drop off more because we're in the daytime and it's beating down sun. Mostly cloudy, but the track is not in cloud cover right now. The track temp for qualifying 117, and it's not showing any signs of going down until we see cloud cover. Didn't seem like there was a lot of tire wear last night, but the difference between me and Jake Matheson's tires at the end were probably only 14, 15 laps, and 12th to 1st, and about 20 of those 30 laps in that run. So even at nighttime in the next-gen car with the downforce that's on that car, we did see fall-off come into play at the end of that race, so it might be even more accelerated today with the track conditions.
Yeah, and here's a look at the Truck Series playoff picture after race number 7. Jake Matheson, 3 wins on the season so far. Travis Beckner, John Hall, all Miller Racing drivers. They have won collective 5 of the 7. Brad Slaughter Jr., Nathan Jump, the only other drivers to have victories so far. But you look down the list, Garrett Grant, Colin Fambro, Greg Mitchell, JT Poole, way out of the running order as far as the points are concerned, Connor. There's time left to go, but we're starting to run down, so you got to make your way forward if you don't think you can win one of these next 5 or 6 races.
Yeah, you definitely have to get it going sooner rather than later, and you've got to be careful. You can't run out of time too early. Trying to look, you know what name, I'll just ask you right now, you know what name you don't see there in the top 20?
What's that?
James Scioli. He's behind JT Poole. He did run last week at Charlotte, 2 weeks ago or so at Charlotte. No wins this season, 21st in points, with only 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s to his name. It has not been the resurgence, I wouldn't say comeback season, but it hasn't been the title defense that Scioli's wanted. He's missed 1 race, but still below a top 20 in points. That is not where I expected to see him after 7 races.
No, cars on track for qualifying here, and it's a relatively sizable grid. Passing is tricky, so you're going to want your track position. The easiest way to get it early is to start out front. Michael Curhan is one of those that we've got our onboard camera with tonight. Let's jump over and see what is happening in Curhan land. Throwback Napa commercial reference. We're only turning 8,000, need another gear. We're only turning 8,000. What's that go to?
It's a song. It's
but how's it go? I can't remember how the rhythm goes. I have to look it up. But Curhan goes to the top for the time being.
It's like the end of the commercial. I know the tune. I got it.
Yeah.
Those are good commercials.
I wanted to look it up, but I think I'll get copyright smashed if I...
Did you get copyrighted for when you found that Logano slide the one time?
I don't know. Maybe. I get copyright strikes, not strikes, but a notification of using copyrighted content quite often. Mostly from old streams from when we used non-proper music. I get those all the time, like Fuel Racing League. Like in my email, like we've demonetized it. I'm like, okay, you can have your 22 cents back.
What a loss.
Yeah, Jacob Bell goes 4th quick. Not a lot of takers here early in the session. I presume because it's a day race, you're going to wait as long as you can to go back out. Hope you can get a cloud. Sean Peachin in the 69 grinds to a halt, but he's already started his lap, so that will be the end of his qualifying session. Ryan Nowicki rolls off pit lane in the 74.
And the new orange scheme for him, not a throwback, just to change the pace, needs some luck to go his way. And there's a reason everyone's waiting. The track temp was 117 when we started. It's already down. I checked 5 seconds ago. That's Beckner.
Which is back.
Beckner doesn't want us. He doesn't want us on him. But the track temp's already gone down 5 degrees in about 4 minutes. And it's showing, it's probably going to keep going down. Like we said, it was mostly cloudy. He's not a fan of us right now. But it's already going down. That mostly cloudy. It's bringing that track temp down, but I don't know how much further down it's going to be able to go as Nowicki's in the wall. That's going to ruin that lap, as it is going to be a tricky qualifying session with how slick this track looks right now, and the wind too, 12 miles an hour.
That's a pretty brisk breeze out there. Of course, it's probably a lot less than it is real world in South Carolina right now, I'd have to imagine. There's Cameron Hearn making his way through. And leaving turn 4, let's see what he's got in the number 4.
4 times on the sheet right now. He'll go 30.018. That'll put him pole for the time being by about 1/10 of a second over Michael Carhan. He's another one who kind of needs something to go his way this season. All 3 sides of this series, not much luck this season, as he didn't really get far last night either. So he could get a good qualifying run. It'd be a big track to do it at.
Gary Waterworth in his way around, another driver that could use some decent points just to vault him ahead of that cut line. JT Poole is just jumping on track. Great looking Brendan Gaughan throwback.
Oh yeah,
I think that
Brendan
scheme's
Gaughan.
probably much older than when Gaughan ran it, but either way, I'm a fan.
I don't know anyone else who would have ran that scheme. There wasn't trucks in that RCR truck for about maybe a season or 2.
I'm not sure if you watched the beginning of the stream last night, but you wouldn't have heard the thing that we discussed right before the stream, which was Finney and I joking that we don't know the throwbacks unless they're from like 2009, but then we also joked that 2009 is now what people are throwing back to. So
That's okay. Yusuf threw back to 3 years ago.
yeah. Gary
Threw
Waterworth,
himself at that.
4th. JT.
Yeah, Waterworth runs that all season, but it still counts as a throwback, as we get a view of JT back in his seat. I don't think he's happy with that lap, though. 30.097 does put him second, but still ways off Cameron Hearn.
And there's a lot of trucks left to go. Only 7 have put in a qualifying time so far, which means Shane Therian bumps him down to 3rd. I imagine that we're going to see a pretty aggressive group of drivers jump out on the racetrack in a minute or 2. There's several staged on the exit of the pit lane. David Weishart is one of them.
Timothy Peters throwback to when Red Horse Racing was one of the top truck teams. Looks pretty nice on a TRD Pro Tundra.
Yeah,
He didn't have a throwback last night, which is probably a good thing because he ended up flipping that car in one of the bigger crashes of the night out of those 16.
So good. Here's Jason Dalton rolling off pit lane. Mr. Radiator Auto Service on the side.
It's one of those times when we wish we could have... We wish we had the patience and time for single truck qualifying, because now we're probably going to be able to see 5 of the 25 that are going to go out late here. And here's a good Kyle Busch throwback from Mason Kane.
This is back the Billy Ballou team, way back when he was running the 51.
Oh yeah, that was it's an iconic truck, really. He did a lot of crazy stuff in that truck, besides winning, obviously.
Yeah, this is back.
Yeah,
this is back. I was a Kyle Busch fan way back in the day, 2006, 2007. And this is probably roughly relevant to that era. I think he formed his own truck team in 2010.
Might have been, 2010. I think he did run this truck in 09.
Greg Mitchell jumping on the racetrack as well. Great looking Rusty Wallace, I assume, livery.
Yes, definitely Rusty. All 3 of his schemes this week are Rusties.
It's kind of a risky guess, because some of these paint schemes might have been in the truck series with a different driver.
Well, not that one.
But not that one. There's Justin Sogak. He has not
One day.
participated. There's James Shainwolf rolling off in the Elite 01. Singular? Jeff Burton?
Oh, singular? Oh, that's Jason Leffler.
Jason
that's
Leffler.
A classic. When he was in the 01, that was a Ganassi car, actually, when he ran it. He got a pole, I think, Kansas over Jeff Gordon. That was kind of his peak in that car, but it looked pretty nice.
Austin Gakjone in the 41. Eric Weinlind getting up to speed there in the SSR truck.
And we missed the end of Mason Kane's lap, but he went even another 10th faster than Cameron Hearn. He's the only driver in the 29-second bracket.
Yeah, that's a really good lap, up by 98 thousandths. Tom Bourne, 16. He's working his way around, just trying to get a look at as many cars or trucks as we can. Another Evernham era car. That time it's Bryce Senesac, but he's going to go for a slide.
He's got to get going, too. Only a minute and a half left, so he kind of has to get this one going. As I don't think we've seen him on camera a lot this year, but he's on it tonight. Sam Fontaine. My guess is... Who would it be? Who would this one be? Like Henny Irwin, maybe?
Before my time, probably.
It's like Ray Bestos throwback, something like that.
Kyle Sieg running the traditional Night Owl truck, the 39. No changes to that livery. And Jake Matheson This one looks pre-Kyle's interest in NASCAR, so you're going to have to help me out.
Cale Yarborough. I think all of Miller Racing's trucks are honoring Cale Yarborough because he passed away recently. This is one of those later stages of his career, his later schemes, as Matheson gets pole by just 100th over Mason Kane.
Look at this one.
This one's good too.
Joking, talking about 2009. This was 2011-ish on the Stewart Haas Racing car. There was a Conor Okrezik's paint scheme last night was a great Old Spice livery throwback to early SHR. John Hall goes third quick. Good run there for the 03. And we do have him on camera tonight, although vertical.
It's got to widen it out a little bit. Yeah, you might as well call it 2012 because that was a championship year for Tony. As Ryan Swan, Ryan Swan out of 4. I believe he's ending his lap 30.147. That puts him 13th. And James Scioli, the driver we're talking about, not in a throwback, but he needs a good run and a good qualifying run at that as we get 10 seconds to go.
Shane Sieg is the 31's throwback, by the way.
Second.
And P2 for Scioli. That could right the ship.
You said the 31's throwback?
Yes.
Ah.
What Dawson is telling us, at least.
He did run that, didn't he?
So, checkered flag here on qualifying, and we're going to get to see all the cars on our trucks. I have to train my brain. It's so hard, especially
Tuesday
evenings.
trucking.
Yeah, Tuesday. Well, I do Miatas before this, so that really, really hurts my brain to do it that way. But
yes.
Before we get deep into the race, though, race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. And, of course, in just a moment, we'll have our Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code Area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. Calm before the storm here, 120 laps at Darlington. The track too tough to tame. How much does the daytime change this racetrack, Connor?
I think it changes a lot because when the nighttime settles down, you really end up having a lot more on-throttle time, especially through 1 and 2. It changes that part of a track a lot because you can really almost get through that part of the track without really cracking the throttle 100%. You might even keep throttle in it to get through there faster when the nighttime settles down. But when the track is slick, track time's 108, it's come down a little bit. But when it's slick and hot during the daytime, when the sun's beating down on it, you really have to be careful. You cannot carry that much speed through because if you carry too much speed, put too much throttle down, you might easily slide out. You might hit the outside wall or you slide down and go down, maybe hit that inside wall or end up overcorrecting. And then 3 and 4 just becomes a bigger challenge to pin that bottom line down. You easily slide off it most of the time. So it's going to change the handling of these trucks really throughout the long run. As long as we get one, that's where you're really going to see most of the effects.
Well, you can hear down on the racetrack now, the engines have fired. They are rumbling as we get set to go racing here. 120 laps. If this race were to go green from start to finish, I consider that unlikely. 59 minutes would be our race distance as far as time is concerned tonight. I don't think we're going to do that, but we'll see how things pan out. This has the potential to get pretty spread out, and we could see some attrition levels like we saw last night, which was almost half the field by the end of things. So we'll keep an eye on that. Roasted Gems Coffee starting lineup. Let's get things through. Here we go. It's Jake Matheson in the number 52. Stole a pole late in qualifying. James Scioli will start alongside him in the number 7.
The Miller Racing at the front per usual. Third place will be Mason Kane, and then John Hall in the 03 will be 4th.
And starting in 5th place, it's Travis Beckner, the number 28. Nice-looking Hardee's truck. Brad Slaughter Jr. starts 6th in the number 8. That won't be the first time I do that tonight.
David Weishart, that Timothy Peters throwback, starts 7th alongside Cameron Hearn in that Ford truck who just needs something to go his way. He starts 8th.
And Justin Anasogak starts 9th in the number 88. Shane Therian 10th in the number 38.
Brendan Gaughan throwback for JT Poole. He starts 11th alongside James Shanewolf in his Jason Leffler singular throwback.
And then it's going to be Michael Curran who rolls off 13th in the number 24. Ryan Swan 14th in the number 20.
15th place, Eric Weiland, number 21, Silverado. 16th place, we didn't even note it, but a Matt Kenseth throwback similar to what Shearer ran last night. That would be Bronson Stafford starting 16th.
17th place, Kyle Sieg in the number 39. Austin Gak-Jones starts 18th in the number 41.
Sam Fontaine, that 71 Silverado, he's had some good qualifying runs as of late, but not tonight. He starts 19th. Greg Mitchell rounds out the top 20 in that rusty throwback.
Bryce Senesac, we've got his on board. Starts 21st in a Matco Tools Evernham themed throwback. And it looks like he'll start alongside Joshua Balliet in the 07.
In the 23rd place, Jason Dalton. Then that 02, the Powerhouse Racing Silverado, alongside the 12 of Gary Waterworth.
And then Joey Chapman starts 25th in the number 60. Mark Brannigan Jr. starts 26th in the number 98.
27th place, last driver to put a time down, Jacob Bell in the 77. Then Colin Famro, who's in that sporty Valvoline Silverado all the time, first driver to not put a time down, starts 28th.
And behind them, Tom Bourne and Garrett Grant in row number 15. The Dylan Lee, Sean Peachin, Adam Capps, Ryan Nowicki, and Dawson Miller wrapping up the rest of the field. We'll get you a look at some of these trucks starting towards the tail here. As we get one last look at the field before we go racing. Adam Capps back here in the 05. Great looking truck there.
Jeff Gordon 02 Daytona 500 throwback.
Is that what that is?
Oh yeah, there's like the 200 years of DuPont, which might not be right. But yeah, you can see it right there actually. It's on the hood.
Yeah.
I love that. I have a 164 of that. It's awesome.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting facts. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. I'm off to Las Vegas tomorrow morning. It's been a busy day and heading over to CES for the Indy Autonomous Challenge. But tonight we go racing. And Matheson and Scioli, your front-running drivers here in this 120-lap race, race 8 of the Area Truck Series season. The lady in black, it's still bright out, but we're going to go racing at this 1.3-mile racetrack. Here we go, green flag. Matheson, Scioli, Kane, Hall, your top 4 into turn 1. Still 2 and 3 wide for most of the field, but lap 1 is complete. Matheson leads the way. Clicks off the first lap led. Scioli, Kane, Beckner now rounding out the rest of your top 4.
I forgot to pick, but I'll pick Scioli. I think he's going to be able to get back on track and get this win he needs for the playoffs. He's fast, but we know Jake Matheson's going to be tough to beat, but I would not be surprised if it's these two to dominate tonight, as he's going to look to be inside turn 3. Matheson fired it into turn 3 to negate that move, but we saw the two Jakes dominate last night. I would not be surprised to see Matheson and Scioli be the two dominant trucks.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Mason Kane. I think it might be a risky pick, but I'm already in the hole anyway as far as points go, so I might as well pick someone interesting. Mason showed some really strong pace last night, got involved in a couple of wrecks that stunted that ultimate progress, and his internet not looking great either tonight, but he is quick, and I expect him to be near the front.
There's a few drivers getting Darlington stripes. I saw Mark Brannigan in the wall, but everyone getting away cleanly from him. As
Slaughter Jr. dropping off the timing. Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's having a blinking issue as well. But he's still in that 8th position. Really first battle side by side was Greg Mitchell, Sam Fontaine. That was for 18th, but Mitchell gets that spot. Then it go back to Jacob Bell, but a little more orderly start. That's hard to say here as Anasogak scraped the wall, but everyone gets by him. Mostly single file through this field.
Yeah, Anasogak up into the fence. He'll lose a few spots. Michael Curhan, Jim Shane Wolf, a couple of the trucks that will get by. Eric Wineland in the 21. We do have his on board tonight, as we do most nights. And we'll get his unique perspective right now in 14th after starting one spot lower.
How about that? I think we are actually, for the time being, single file through the entire field, but it doesn't mean anything. There's one mistake out of the corner when you're in a single file line. It checks everyone up, and that's when you get crashes. When you get stack-ups out of the corner, you see 2, 3 wide in the turns 3, turn 1. It never works.
We saw a lot of crashes last night just from running side-by-side on the straightaways. Connor, can you enlighten me on why that is a particular problem here, where you're just running kind of on a quarter panel, someone drifts the slightest bit, and all of a sudden you're in the fence?
Well, it's just such a tight racing surface, you know. You really only have a groove and a half at Darlington to work with anyways, as I think Waterworth was in the wall a little bit there. But, yes, oh, we got a crash. Garrett Grant's in the wall. Caution's out. Him and Brannigan might have gotten together, and he made 5 full laps, and we got our first caution.
And pretty heavy nose damage on that number 5. He'll bring out a first yellow at lap number 6. Off into turn 1, and I think the 5 is going to drift up there into Brannigan. And we saw this in real life happen with Chastain and was it Larson?
Yes, I was there for that. It was not a great day, but yeah, just Grant kind of it just drifted up a little bit too much. There wasn't much Brannigan could really do. Can't go too much higher than that, or else that wall will jump out at you in the middle of 1 and 2. But it's what I was about to talk about. The groove and a half wide, you really don't have room for side by side, so you get so tight to one another. That's what creates those crashes on the straightaway, because you're trying to go for the same piece of real estate just to get the arc you need to enter the corner properly. That's what causes those on the straightaways, and we saw it happen last night in turn 1 as well. It was Seth Knoll and one of the Miller Racing cars, maybe Vincent Cortez, but it was the same situation. It was not as hard as that, though, as Sean Peachin might have gotten away with that.
Got the nose up underneath, but managed to carry on. So pit stops last night, that strategy got interesting. That's what helped you win the race, was a little bit of alternate pit strategy, Connor. What's the strategy so far? It seems like most people have elected not to pit. You got only a handful of tire sets. You don't want to waste them early.
No, you got one less set than we had the last night, so you probably won't see. I would be surprised if you see that strategy work again. I think it's going to be a little harder to get through the field in these trucks, but you just never know. We're really just going to have to really try to pay attention to see who has tires left, who uses them, who doesn't. I honestly thought I was screwed on the green-white checkered because I thought the fall-off was big enough, but we saw everyone stay out because the track position in a 2-lap run, obviously the amount of yellows we had, just no one really wanted to take that risk. And that's also what helped me to win, because no one wanted to pit with 30 to go either, because I think everyone expected a yellow run to the finish, and then we got a 30-lap run. So it's really going to come down to how green this race goes. And once these drivers get a feel for how this race is going, then we'll see some more interesting strategy plays. Also, got to remember, make that commitment line, that yellow line in that orange cone, that is in play. Jake Matheson, that kind of cost him the win last night, actually.
It did cost him the win, although I think, ultimately, I think your pit stop was later and ended up winning you the race regardless. But I think you have to know where that pit entry is. And if we do get a green flag stop, you have to have practiced it. It is not something that you can wing and nail it the first time without giving up a bunch of time.
Yeah, if we do get that, it is going to be very scary. We're going to see, it's one of the few tracks where you see a bunch of drivers making different lines on pit entry. You'll see drivers go to the apron before turn 3 even, and just go around the very inside wall to pit. Sometimes you'll see drivers stay on track in turn 3, then cut it down late, and they really come out the same way. There's not much of a difference in time, although I would probably enter before turn 3 just to be safe completely about it. So we will see what drivers try to do. Hey, I can't see now.
It's like spraying a cat with water. No, get off. That's fun.
Pepper spraying the commentators is not allowed.
There was a Martin Brundle interview on pit lane one time where he had to interview some celebrity, and they really didn't want to be interviewed, and you're supposed to when you're on grid at an F1 race. And he walks away and goes, "Oh, I'm sure it would have been very interesting." All right, Jake Matheson is your control truck for the restart here. Lap number 10. Let's try this again. Here we go from Darlington. Back underway.
Let me get my vision back real quick, because Matheson is away with the lead. Skyler did not go, and obviously Mason Kane and Jake Matheson working together. Two teammates on the bottom. I think Kane's going to get that second position. We might see John Hall get third from Scioli.
It's going to be tough, though, on the bottom here. Out of turn 2.
He's going to get a push from his teammate Beckner, though.
Into 3, what does Weishart do here? Does he try to rip the outside and fill that gap on the outside of Beckner, or does he play this a bit more cautious here in the early going? He'll slot in behind. Mason Kane, connectivity problems. We should also mention there's pretty significant weather on the East Coast right now, which did affect some drivers in the previous broadcast I had tonight.
Ooh, slide. Greg Mitchell, he saved it, though, so never mind that. I don't know how he kept that off of everyone. Oh, it's not over yet. Look out. All right, he keeps it off.
Did have a bunch of wrecks last night that didn't trigger a yellow as well. If you slide off of the banking, it will not throw a caution. And even if you are on the banking, it seems like the leniency here is higher than some other tracks.
Something to do with a small racing surface and the way the yellows used to be programmed in iRacing. Everything off the racing surface would not be a yellow. Newer tracks that have been scanned recently are quite different now, but Darlington is one of those tracks where they updated it visually, but they have not scanned this track in years, so it's got that old style where if it's on the surface, it ain't a yellow. As we got 3 wide, Waterworth, and I think Fambro on the bottom.
Purdue Born up top, too, trying to split this difference.
This is the trouble pack right now. Everyone else, everything ahead of this is single file. This is a hornet's nest.
Senesac trailing this as well. Then 0-9. He had to lift big time to let Ennis Sogak sweep around the outside. Ooh. And then Joey Chapman will take a spot.
Out of the lead, Mason Kane got over Matson out of 2, and this is going to be not a battle. Kane's going to get the lead away.
Yeah, and just like last night when we saw Matheson go by Jake Nichols, it just looked easy. And then it was not easy for Nichols to get the lead back. So could we see something like that happen in this race? Absolutely. Matheson drops to second.
We'll see. Skyley did keep third from John Hall and Travis Beckner. He's probably trying to keep the tires on it, but John Hall is pressuring the heck out of him. Something all over your bumper through 1 and 2 when you're already having to kind of feather the throttle. It is not fun. So Skyley's got to be very careful about that, which he is. And he's still got to run on Matheson. Now, what Matheson doesn't want to do is let Scioli by because it kind of hurts their control of the race, and it lets Scioli get a shot at getting control for himself.
John Hall's thinking about going to the inside of Scioli here, but thought better of it. And I think as the race goes on, we're going to see the line shift around. You know, the oval refresh, Connor, we haven't talked about it really since Charlotte. We didn't talk about it at all last night. That might have a hand in some things as far as how the...
We got crash, Curhan. Nope, it's not going to be a...
Oh, there they go, one car to the inside.
No, there it is.
Bronson Stafford.
Yeah, that was... Curhan hit the wall and kind of rode it through turn 2, and Stafford had nowhere to go, and he gets destroyed out of it.
Yeah, that's a big impact there.
That's probably going to end his race.
His expressions never change.
No, I think it's the beard. Has something to do with it.
Guy just got wrecked, and you would never know.
I don't know if he had contact or they were side by side, but he's in the wall dragging it, and Bronson Stafford just can't avoid. And then, let's see what happens here. Oh, Kyle Sieg just body slams him into the wall. Obviously not intentional, but odd one.
Might have just been looking in the mirror, seeing what was going on, and then moved a bit left. Travis Beckner looking at Scioli as John Hall has successfully made a pass for third, and then JT Poole as his rearview mirror is full of David Weishart.
Yeah, it looked like John Hall just got a better run out of 2, and Scioli didn't really want to be on the top 2, 3, and 4. That top line in 3 and 4, that's what used to be dominant here in iRacing, but since they did all these grip patches and everything before they got this oval refresh, that bottom line to 3 and 4 is what you needed to run to keep the tires on it, and it was just more speed. There's no grip on that top side, so once someone gets under you, it's almost like, oh, I might as well just let them by, because you're just going to hurt your tires and hurt your speed running out there.
Cameron Hearn taking just a glance at fifth place Travis Beckner. Been pretty calm now since the restart, other than that one incident out of 2, which was, again, it seems like they always start as single car incidents, and because the track's so narrow, but now this pass here, John Hall passed Matheson for second and just clears him.
And Beckner dove to the inside of Scioli another time when Scioli's just not getting off of turn 2 as well as he needs to, and Beckner dove into 3 to get that spot, so now Scioli's back to 5th.
Mason Kane eking out a lead up to half a second of an advantage. We didn't see a lead get much beyond that last night at all.
We're seeing, oddly enough, I feel like we're seeing passing easier, which is not really what I expected, but I guess at the same time with how much less grip there is with the track tip as high as it is, it's back up to 115, so less grip probably means more chances for mistakes and worse runs off the corner, which means you're going to get more passing opportunities. But with that being said, the passing opportunities are still very scarce at a track this narrow.
Eric Wineland up to 12th place. And everyone kind of running the same groove in 1 and 2, at least when you're single file out. You don't get your choice of lane always at Darlington if the conditions are like they are now. You kind of all have to be running the same groove to make speed, and then the only way you can pass is putting someone offline, which effectively you just go in there side by side and then no one can choose their lane.
Yeah, the worst place to be side by side is turn 1, and we haven't really seen any battles into there completely work yet. As you can see, our cam in turn 1, everyone's using an apron a little bit there. You kind of need it to try to rotate the truck, but you can't get through there without hitting it. It just makes your that wall much more inviting to your truck, which you never want that, but it can be very scary. But especially when you're under someone, you'll see people dip all 4 tires down there just to keep off of one another.
Justin Sogak has not had the greatest of starts tonight. Started up inside the top 10, had a bit of a slip previously, now dropped down to 14th. Joshua Balliet, however, is up 7 spots in that 07 Elite truck.
He's actually one of our biggest movers, so props to him. He might be the biggest mover. Tom Bourne is also up 9 positions, so he's another one of those. Michael Curhan, obviously because of his wall hit, he's back from 10 positions total, and the only driver to start outside the top 10 and get into it so far is that 26 of JT Poole, 11th to 7th.
And 3 trucks are out. Bronson Stafford, Mark Brannigan Jr., and Garrett Grant all retired from this race. Dylan Lee's 2 laps down. Everyone else still rolling and on the lead lap.
I always find it funny when you see so many people spin off a corner where there's rubber going to the bottom. You look down the back straightaway, you can see the rubber going down to that inside wall. That's all from practice, really. Oh, we got a crash. Gary Waterworth, I think, just killed the inside wall. Yes, it was.
Hence
huge hit.
Rubber mark that you were just talking about, and that blew the engine. That'll be night over.
See what happened here. He's going to get it back to the pits, hit the wall himself, and Tom Bourne, same thing as Curhan. Someone hits the wall, they're going to come off it a little bit. You really just have nowhere to go.
And again, he's going to follow right in the tire tracks of that rubber, right there. Bam.
Oh. That is our 4th retirement in 24 laps.
I mean, if turn 2 was a highway, it would be closed because it was too dangerous.
Yeah. You think you got all that room to the inside, but
Kane was sideways out of 4. Do you see him get loose up off the corner?
That was pretty close. You could see he's kind of losing control of this race. I think he actually clipped the apron out of 4. That's what caused that, is he's going to blink a little bit here. As I think someone slid in the background. That might have been Weishart and Slaughter battling. Yeah, Shane Wolf tapped the wall too in the background.
Watch the 8 of Slaughter, loose out of 2. I mean, generally, some of these loose conditions you could catch, but everyone is packed so tight behind you that you don't have time to catch it before you get your rear wheels picked up off the ground. And then you get turned into the wall. So usually it's just one car getting sideways, and then from there on out, you can't control your own destiny.
Slaughter backs out, lets Shane Therian up to that 9th position. But yeah, once you're so packed up like this, so we were talking about, one mistake could bring the big one out, really, especially out of turn 2. There is much less room for air out turn 2 compared to turn 4, which used to be turn 4 when they flipped that, 30 years ago, 25 years ago at this point. So you have to be on edge all the time here. You almost need to lift off the exit of the corner just to give someone room if they're messing up that exit consistently, because you know you're going to get your front end ripped off if you don't give them that room. Because meanwhile, John Hall to the lead.
Oh, what? How'd that happen? That was quick.
Happened quickly. It was like a lap ago even we lost it. He got the run out of 2. It's where we've been seeing really all of our passes facilitated. This exit of 2 is so crucial. And you can see Mason Kane's been starting to struggle. Gets not a good run. John Hall's going to swoop to the inside, and just Mason Kane gives it to him basically. Yeah,
depending on how the tail end of this race goes, though, that mid-range pace that Mason Kane has could prove to be pretty useful. But it could also go the other way and be a long-run pace race, in which case I don't know that we know, especially after last night, who's going to be good in those long runs on a different tire with a different vehicle. A lot of questions left to be answered, but we know Kane is good for at least 20 laps.
The issue for him is if we do get a long run here, that short to mid-run pace is not going to matter if he goes back outside the top 5. He restarted from 3rd and took lead from Matheson kind of thanks to that, but if he can't keep track position in the long run, it's not going to matter what his short run pace is, because it'll just be too hard to pass. There's a few battles still going on here. That's Therian and Slaughter right next to each other, JT Poole, David Weishart, and also Shane Wolf and Eric Wineland keep going at it for that 12th position.
Kyle Sieg is going to kind of slip backwards here, down to 20th. Loses a spot to Tom Bourne. Also seems like he's struggling with the rear tires this deep into the run. And I imagine we'll just split this into 40-lap chunks. You're going to try to go to lap 60.
I think we might see people. I don't know if you can get the 60, honestly. I think the fuel range in the next-gen cars with the bigger tank was about 80, so maybe it's possible. We'll find out in 15 laps what the strategy is. But honestly, I think if you can get the 60, you might take it. But the fall off is already about 1.2 seconds. So with this oval refresh, yeah, I feel like the fall off's gotten much bigger with this refresh. So it might change strategies, as the 8 and 38 still going at it.
Yeah, the drop,
Slaughter's finally got it.
We did not have that drop last night anywhere near that. Maybe we saw 4 or 5 tenths of a second, but much bigger drops tonight.
It's like Scioli's trying to go. He looked inside of Travis Beckner. Did not get it. These two with history. This last season and this season, Weiland's loose. Shane Wolf, these two are going at it like there's 5 to go. And Weiland went over the radio, come on. I don't think he wants out. I think Shane Wolf wants to give it away. They're bickering back and forth. They're not happy with each other, so maybe we just stay on this battle. But yeah, it looks like Skyly wants to go. Beckner won't give it to him. That looks like Hearn just let Weishart by.
Yeah, I mean, is this the point in the race to pick your battles, or is this, you got to go, right? I mean, if this race goes green to the end, I can absolutely see the justification for wanting to go now. Big slide by Shane Wolf.
I don't think you want to pick your battles on lap 32, but at this point, there's already been so much. Weiland's getting held up for sure, and he's let it be known. And Shane Wolf has given it right back to him verbally. So I cannot imagine this ends well. I
mean, they signed up for a race, didn't they?
Yes, they did. But that's what Darlington does. Is Shane Wolf just finally gives it to him, I think, preventing the inevitable. That's what I thought was inevitable, but that's just what Darlington does to you. It's so hard to pass.
Skyly! Big slide out of turn 2.
Ooh. I don't know. I think he and Beckner maybe had contact. Oh, yeah, Beckner in the wall, and Skyly just bounces off him, but what a job keeping the truck clean.
Yeah, he was already sliding. I think the contact with Beckner just exacerbated that sideways momentum. Down to 5th, and he'll defend from it.
Weishart, I think, knows Skyly's still faster, so he'll just let him have another crack at the 20. I don't think David Weishart wants to battle Beckner yet, so we'll see what happens.
It's so nice when you make a mistake and you know that you're faster than everyone behind you, but they passed you because of your mistake, and then they let you have it back. It's the nicest thing.
I know. It makes things go so much smoother.
It does, but it can't be expected, but it is definitely nice.
Oh, it's shocking people let me by at the end of last night. That was kind of wild.
Too.
But it's kind of, I feel like I only get let by at a track like Darlington, though, where side by side costs you like a second. Like if it was like Chicagoland, no one's letting me by because it's just, side by side battle will not slow people down that much. As Cameron Hearn's letting a number of drivers by.
Colin Fambro and splits the difference, does Tom Bourne. He'll take advantage of that.
Ooh, saw a lot of three-ride moves like that not go well. I think Blaze McKinney caused one last night, but that got pretty wild off of turn number 2.
Yeah, the difference is I think Bourne had enough momentum to fully clear that route by the time they got to 3. In the next-gen car, it's so hard to build momentum that the slip-ups, you would just get 3 wide, and then you couldn't un-get 3 wide. You were just stuck like that until you got to the corner and someone had to give.
Yeah, so definitely that helped Bourne get that position. Meanwhile, 8 and 88, not teammates, but you would think otherwise, as Slaughter's starting to really fall back here. Justin Sogak's just going to clear him into the corner. And a little further up, we're starting to see Mason Kane. He's still only about 0.8 of a second behind John Hall, but Jake Matheson has called him back for that runner-up position. And would not be surprised if this pass also happens out of 2.
Right on board now with Jake Matheson.
Beckner hit the wall a little bit. Skyly's got to run back at him, meanwhile.
That could get interesting.
Kind of lost it.
Matheson going by Kane. Kane's going to lift and give it to him. So you can Jack Jones door-to-door out of 2. John Hall, internet issues big time. Big issue there for, he's back. No, we're not. This could be big news.
Oh, there he is. All right, you don't want to have that happen, but like you talked about, we didn't really even get to finish that point, but the weather's like all of the East Coast is bad, so I would not be surprised if some of that's being caused. He is in Florida, and that quality is very low.
Yeah, I've heard it's very windy in Florida. Greg Kramer, my co-commentator for the Full Send Sim Series, is in Bradenton.
We got a pit stop. Weishart and Slaughter are going to come in. Oh, Slaughter missed the commitment cone. He's not going to make it.
No, yeah, he'll have to go back around again. So answers our question about the 1 versus 2 stop strategy. Seems like it'll be 40-40, or 40-80 rather. But we could see some drivers try something different. But if they're coming at 39, it tells me I think we're going to see more do that strategy too.
I would not be surprised for sure, especially if you're James Scaiola. Or just anyone who's stuck behind someone. The track position matters so much. You might just want to undercut, or you might just want to hit him. As looks like Hearn's going to come down this time as well. None of the other front runners yet. He makes it safely.
So this is when your practice counts, right? I mean, I think there's probably a lot of drivers that just log in 20 minutes before the race starts, run a couple of laps and call it good, but you just can't do that at Darlington. You need to get into that flow state. And one of those things includes giving pit road a couple of tries and trying to maximize your advantage there, as Beckner's going to be under fire from Scaiola into 3.
Scaiola uses that apron to make him rotate a little bit. And now Beckner, he is not going to let the 7 go easily. And he actually goes through the outside pretty well, so he's going to keep that spot at least another set of corners, but kind of figure this battle's starting to boil a little bit. As Wineland in the background, he got by Shane Therian for the 8th position.
Michael Curhan on pit lane, Adam Ryan Swan, Greg Mitchell.
Brad Slaughter Jr. leaves, so maybe in the second time around he sped. And that's getting physical. Lap 41. Scioli's, I think, done with this. But he just can't, even with the bump, he just can't get enough of a run. And you need a significant amount of overlap to make this pass work. This is not enough to make it work. This is the point where you might see beating and banging and maybe crashing.
Very
Meanwhile,
tight.
you see these guys sit side by side. Watch how quickly Justin Sogak gets to him. Same thing again between these two.
Yeah, and Justin's going to feel like Superman here. By the way, they heard that the 8 crashed on his second pit lane attempt. So 0 for 2 for Brad Slaughter.
Bigger bump.
Guys are pulling the gloves off here.
I would say so. I think we're going to see more than gloves taken off. See Beckner, a much bigger run for Scioli this time, but Beckner gives him no room at all entering 1. And Sogak was 0.3 of a second faster last time by.
Oh boy, here they go again out of turn 2. That's very tight. The
I think we might see a bigger bump. More down the straightaway. I think he's going to try to shove him up the track and get him, but even that's not going to work.
This is where Beckner, though, I think is really good. Right? Look how aggressive he is. He's up on that wheel. He's driving hard. Ryan Newman strategy here. Just keep him driving, wear out his tires too. Signed up for a race, and he's racing.
Yeah, you get wrecked, you get wrecked.
Yeah.
I mean, defending is so key
He's
here
got to win.
you give up. Yeah, he does have a win. Scioli doesn't. Scioli needs this more. And if you get wrecked, it is what it is. But if you give up this spot now, you might not get it back. So this is more crucial than ever. Than any other battle. Meanwhile, they're 4 seconds behind leader John Hall, who Matheson has kept with him, but he's actually still lost time. John Hall's kept the 1.1 second lead over his teammate.
John Hall also has a win, so does Jake Matheson. So, a handful of the drivers in the top 5 are set as far as wins are concerned to make it into the playoffs. Scioli's in the fence out of 2.
It's a scrape, though. That shouldn't hurt him. Meanwhile, this is when you get kind of scared. It gets kind of scary when you got drivers on new tires passing the drivers on old tires. It's a big difference in grip, but luckily he's got the lane to go right around the top of those two and let them battle. That track temp is coming down. It's down to 105, although the sun's still beating down.
Laps clicking away here, and the top 17 have not yet pit. 15 laps until the halfway point, so maybe we will see a split strategy here. Beckner, big time
definitely
lose.
like it. I don't know how much longer you can defend this, but it seems like both these drivers are going that one-stop way, so you can't really undercut too much just to make sure you can make it on fuel.
Yeah, I don't know that Beckner is going to be able to hang on to this if they were to do this another 10 or 15 laps, but if they were to pit shortly, I mean, Beckner has definitely killed some of Scioli's lap time, and that will pay off later in this race. But what's the patience later in the cockpit of the 7?
It'll pay off later if he doesn't get junked.
Yeah.
That's the question mark, because, here's going to be another big hit into the corner. It worked for me last night, but it doesn't seem like it's actually shoving Beckner up the track enough and getting him out of shape enough.
Wiggle there by the 7 on exit. I really do think this is where Travis excels, though. He's very, very precise with the truck where he places it on track when he's side by side. If he doesn't leave the 7 space, that's by design. It's not like he's going in there just turning in. Yeah. He knows exactly where he's going to put that thing to keep Scioli behind him and make him make the mistake. Even if they were to get turned, if you can do it in a way that would get the 7 in trouble and get him the EOL, job well done.
It's almost like baiting.
I mean, seriously.
Jim Scioli's like a fish.
That's a part of it, right? Kyle Sieg's going to hit pit lane here. He's done this a number of times in the real world, so it shouldn't be any problem for him.
Sean Peachin missed that commitment line. We were talking about that orange cone, so I'm sure that's a penalty.
Cameron Hearn in the background working by Sogak. 33 on fresh tires here is going to come through very, very quickly.
You have to weave through them. That fall off for these front runners is about up to 2 seconds now, so that tire, it's going to become a bigger difference for those drivers with that extra stop. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Now Scioli might be able to take advantage of Beckner getting passed by Weishart. Not quite. Now it's like Cameron Hearn's going to be stuck behind these drivers for at least one more corner.
Well, maybe not. He's not going to wait. No, he's going to have to. Didn't have a choice.
I think he wants the top side.
Nope.
No, that's
Barely
gonna.
takes it. Oh yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think I don't know what Skyley wanted to do there, but either way, him and her. Oh, he just put Skyley in the wall. Wow.
Showed the displeasure there. Message sent and received. Short-range Bluetooth there. Bluetooth bumpers.
I don't think he appreciated that.
No, I'd say not.
That battle between the 28 and the 7 is kind of fizzled now. It's pretty clear. I don't think he liked the 7 getting in his line, just kind of swerved and, hey, let me go.
Yeah, I mean, as a driver, I think both of those drivers will have very different opinions on what should have been done there, but blue flags are not compulsory. You don't have to do anything, but is there a gentlemanly...
Tom Bourne having trouble on the front stretch. I don't think he's pit, but he looks like he's struggling.
Yeah, he is not pit. Oh, wow, that was weird.
It was weird. Not. Almost looked like he just he had grip and then he didn't.
He was already loose out of 4, and it just snapped right on him.
Wheels must have still been spinning, which is kind of surprising, but that had to be the case.
Or just hot from sliding him all the way through 3 and 4 potentially.
Yeah, it's something like that, because that doesn't happen normally. So we're still waiting on a number of drivers to pit.
Yeah, the top 14 still have yet to go, and at this stage, they're going to go that extra 7 laps and try to make it to lap 60.
Even the top 16, I think. The first driver on new tires should be David Weishart, who just unlapped himself.
Yeah, you're right. Adam Capps would hit on the first stop for the yellow flag, but not recently.
All working around the wiki just barely, and we got a caution just like that.
Oh, well, that answers that question, and it is Sean Peachin out of turn 4.
He was a driver who did pit.
Oh, he was way on the apron.
Oh my gosh! Greg Mitchell almost got pile driven in the outside wall. Let's see this. Oh, wow! Must be more to that.
There was. That was the 26 of JT Poole. Was it just going off into 3 here that they had issues?
I didn't see anything else.
Did they go off in here?
They haven't been next to each other all race, but that's pretty blatant contact.
Yep.
And then obviously JP responded with the left side door.
Yep.
Watch this.
Oh man, the 2 got so lucky. Who was that swerved to miss that?
Could not.
It's green
tell.
truck. It's not
zero. I don't know, one of his zero trucks maybe.
Oh, no.
Let's see. It's someone behind Greg Mitchell. I know that. It looks Joshua Balliet, 07.
That's right.
Just had to swerve big time down.
Oh, well, he's all the way in 10th. So he was following JT Poole on track. So that answers the pit stop question. Everyone's going to hit pit road, and those that pit early just got totally boned by that. Cameron Hearn is going to get a wave around here, or try to get a wave around. A lot of drivers. Oh no, there's luckily some that got stuck a lap down there.
The only one who was not a lap down, I think, was David Weishart. He had just gotten his lap back, and he's going to have to pit for a new set of tires anyways. That 20-lap old set will not cut it, so he's going to lose all the track position he had. So everyone comes down for some of these drivers their first set. Actually, all these drivers but David their first set.
Yeah, so this is going to re-rack us right around the halfway point for the restart. And we've had a pretty long green flag run. And
Paul, Matheson, and Beckner gets out ahead of Mason Kane. So that's a position swap there. Leaves us almost about half the drivers left on the lead lap at this point. Some drivers won't be able to take waves.
Yeah, he's going to mix up the field quite a bit with that poorly timed yellow. So while we've got a moment here, race fans, head over to simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple and easy to use, so it keeps you more focused on the racetrack. And be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. So, let's see, how have your picks shifted and shuffled here? Mason's running P4, which was my pick to win this race. Connor, how's your guy doing?
Scioli's in. Did I pick Scioli? God, now I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I picked Scioli.
I think you did.
He's in 5th, so not bad, but he hasn't really been able to get through. It seems like he saved tires on that early part of the run, but when he tried to get the positions back, he met a wall, and that wall was Travis Beckner, and he could not get by. So I would think we see more urgency trying to keep that track position early in the run, because I think it's more important. Really won't be no change in the order. John Hall, kind of surprising. Usually we've seen Matheson dominate a lot in this truck series season, but John Hall, even at the end of that run, he was pulling from Jake Matheson. So that 0-3 truck hasn't won since Daytona, but he's been fast all season long. But he looks like, surprising to me, he might be that guy to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to keep our eyes on really anyone in the top 5. I think can win this race. John Hall has been very, very, very good tonight. But, maybe that shouldn't be a huge surprise. I mean, have a look again at the standings coming into the night. John Hall did have a win. So did Travis Beckner. So did Jake Matheson. So none of those drivers should be surprising. But Mason Kane, if he were to win a race, not much of a wild card because he's already 6th in points. But Scioli could absolutely throw a wrench in things if he were to win. It would shift that cut line around, bump Anna Sogak out, put Bell on the cut line. There's a lot of ramifications if the 7 were to snag one here tonight.
Yeah, those drivers 30 and 40 points above. A Scioli win really kind of shifts that to the point where they're safe on points, and then it becomes, oh wait, this is not as a surefire thing. So a win by anyone out there makes it tough. And we also have to keep an eye on Nathan Jump. He has that win, but coming into tonight, he's only 20th in points, and he's not here tonight. So that'll be his 2nd race missed, which means he can't miss any more and make the playoffs. Plus, he's going to have to get back into the top 20 after tonight as long as he continues to race. Although, saying that, I feel like he might not be coming back this season, but I'll have to look at that. I remember seeing something, because there was a whole thing about subs that you don't know about, but either way, the leader's John Hall. That's what we know now.
Here we go, lap number 59, just shy of halfway. The Area Truck Series Round 8 from Darlington, back underway at the Lady in Black.
Been too calm through 1 and 2 on the restart and start he did have.
Oh, the 88's wiggling a bit. Makes me nervous. That pinch point out of 2 is what gets you in trouble, and already a couple trucks in the background skating around.
Some drivers that took the wave, so their tires won't be as good.
Yeah, restarting on heat cycle tires in the daytime race.
In the wall. That is Nowicki.
Oh, Nowicki's in the wall. Balliet got sideways up at 4 as well.
Well, now it's, instead of Beckner, he's trying to pass. Now Scioli's going to be stuck by Mason Kane for a little while, but Kane does have that short run speed that might help Scioli try to get some positions back maybe. But already back single file.
Yeah, Travis Beckner in 3rd, so Hall, Matheson, and Beckner leading. This is kind of a great scenario for them, isn't it? Up front like this.
What we saw last night, instead it wasn't Cale Yarbrough and Tony Stewart, it was just DEI.
Yeah, and it didn't really pan out either. They all kind of got wrecked out one by one.
Oh, sorry, yeah, almost looked like he doored the 25, but they did not make contact, just got a spot away from 14. But yeah, it did not pan out. They were there probably 80 laps of that race, but ended up not getting really the finishes that they thought they were going to get at that point in the race.
And then some idiot goes down on pit lane and gets 4 tires and then just manages to drive by everybody at the end and ruin the whole show.
Oh yeah, well, what a shame. That guy must be an a-hole.
Yeah.
How dare he?
You don't chew Big Red?
I was gonna chew, but there's 30-mile-an-hour winds outside and tornado warnings. I don't think it's worth getting a pack of gum today.
No, I don't think so.
Another time.
Jason Dalton, Tom Bourne. This is for 13th place. Adam Capps. Sorry, is that? No, that's the 25 of Dylan Lee, who's 2 laps down, just behind him. Jacob Bell
Capps is behind that.
Side by side.
Cameron Hearn letting a bunch of people by. He's done this a lot tonight, where if he gets in a bind, he just starts letting a lot of trucks by. He's just ahead of Jacob Bell, actually, and Sieg's going to go inside for that 19th position. Hearn struggling here.
Yeah, and he's got 23-lap-old tires. So does Bell, and Sieg has something similar. Eric Wineland up to 8th place. He's quietly moving his way into the top 10.
Once he got by the 0-1, he's been much more calm, I think, because like Tom Bourne got by also Gak Joan for 12th in the background. Gak Joan also falling back. Now him and Jason Dalton are side by side. And Eric is saying he's pitting this time, and he is, apparently.
Pitting here and being done, maybe?
Huh. This is an odd one, that's for sure.
Well, we know he can go at least 55 laps, so he would be good to the end from here. But he's betting on this race going green to the finish, which I don't know that I would bet on.
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, he has tried wacky strategies in the past, so maybe it's not past him, but this seems like something else to pit 5 laps after a restart. That doesn't make much sense.
Oh, especially he was running well too. Sogak to the outside of Scioli took a swipe at him.
Trying, but it's just so hard to get something done, especially on the newer tires. It's going to make those passes even more difficult. Eric is out of pit lane. It was a normal stop, seemingly.
Yeah, 4-tire stop. It's going to be a lap down. Here comes Therian back underneath Anna Sogak.
A good run for Anna Sogak.
Yeah, has been. Done a nice job tonight, keeping the truck clean. The attrition level has been somewhat similar to what we saw last night. We were down 6 trucks from the 35 that started. If we were to lose another 6, that'd be a similar percentage to what we had on Monday, but it has come much less dramatically so far.
Yeah, about 7 trucks actually. If we include the 69 of Peach, I don't think he's going to get back on track. But definitely a little, it is similar, but just a lot more of that happening during green flag conditions and keeping us green. And I think it's, oddly enough, I think it's getting more spread out today. Maybe not too odd because of the track temp, but it's getting more spread out today than it did all of last night.
Yeah, I think the track temp's a big piece of that. And the horsepower, I think, as well, once you kind of break free of the draft. It's a little trickier to run everybody down.
Meanwhile, say that, but there's a pack of about 11 trucks in a row here.
Well, I mean, that would be the normal consideration last night. Tonight, it's a notable feature that they're running that tight nose to tail.
True.
And the laps are clicking away pretty quickly. You know, maybe there's something to Eric's strategy here, because we're almost to 50 laps to go, and it's about 25 minutes worth of racing. This totally could go green. And then you're going to be out front. Ooh, big slide there by Dylan Lee. But if you're out front by 20 seconds and you just have to kind of coast around, the tire wear is so extreme that if you were to get a yellow, that would break your strategy. Everyone behind you, if they've got more than 5 laps on their tires, they're going to hit pit lane anyway. So maybe there's a little bit of comfortability after that other pit stop by the leaders. Once Eric gets the lead, he's in kind of a safe spot, I'd say.
I suppose so, but even after that stop, it was 5 laps after everyone got new tires, and he's not really gaining a lot of time on the leaders. He was trying to look. He was about maybe 4 times faster last time. I guess it is something.
He didn't have a lot of overlap. I think you're right.
So like he might get the lead for a moment, barring everyone can't make it on fuel. But I don't know. I feel like if everyone gets the memo that they can't make it on fuel, they split it in half. That 21 strategy will probably be done. If anything, he'll just need a well-timed yellow. Because they will have plenty of tire sets. He will have plenty of tire sets left. I don't think we're going to be down to our last set today like we were last night for some.
I think that's unlikely.
Anna Sogak
hopping out of line on Scioli here. Really good night for the 88, but thinks better of it. Tucks back in. He'll drift up the track. And Scioli, ever since he kind of got knocked into the wall, he hasn't really shown as much forward progress as I thought we would see him make. This 5th isn't so bad.
This is kind of what he did the first run as well, though. He kind of saved. It's what put him back from 2nd to 5th after that restart. So could just be trying to keep the tires on it once again and trying to figure it out after that. But we saw last time he could not get by Beckner, and he'll now have to also pass Mason Kane. So I'm not sure if saving the tires is worth it at a track this hard to pass. Yeah,
Mason led 13 laps earlier and then fell out of the lead. I wonder if he learned to conserve a bit more.
Where Senesac pits, he was one of those wave-around trucks, so if the leaders can make it after their last stop, those wave-around drivers are in trouble because there's no way they will be able to make it as John Hall continues to lead by 7.5 tenths of a second.
Actually, last time by, he was significantly quicker, 2/10 quicker than everybody behind him. And faster than almost everybody on the racetrack except for David Weishart and Eric Wineland. Shane Therian to the inside of Balliet. This is for 7th.
I'll tell you what, I listened to Matheson in the turn 3. He has no RPMs in the 3, so that tells me that fuel is an issue.
Yeah, we never saw him go all the way to 60, right? We had that yellow at lap 55, and he has the clutch pushed in, but you got to take 4 tires. Everyone knows that. So now the question:
if it's a splash, maybe not.
Yeah.
See if we get there, but it doesn't seem like John Hall. He is lifting, he is coasting as well, but he's just keeping a much bigger gap. Meanwhile, Jake Matheson's backing up the entire lead lap by doing this.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone behind here is running on a different strategy and isn't going to sit around, but it appears like they're all kind of playing ball so far. Is that why you think the 21 just hit pit lane? Not just to make sure that he can make it to the end and then not have to save so much fuel?
I would assume so. I don't see any other reason you would take tires 5 laps after the restart, so it definitely had to be some sort of fuel thing. We'll see if it works. If these drivers end up not making it, then they run out. They might have a shot at that point, but he is, as we said, he is a lap down, and he is currently the second driver a lap down to Ryan Nowicki. So we'll see if that works out at that point, but it's going to be a little tight to make that work, I think.
JT Poole following Shane Wolf.
Oh!
That was
Kane
tight.
hit the wall pretty hard up ahead. Shane Wolf almost hit it harder himself. Didn't do much damage to Mason Kane's truck, though.
Down to the inside here through 3 and 4. Tightens up on exit, and they're going to run down the front straightaway in a drag race here.
Never want to lift in those situations, but you almost have no choice sometimes. Is if you don't have the overlap, you almost have to just let him go, because you know it's going to end up in a crash. So Shane Wolf keeps that spot 9th. He's still sliding through turn 2, but he keeps that spot.
I hear a lot of clutches going into 3 now.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's got the memo. This is like a super speedway. I remember, I think one of the Atlanta races the season prior to this one, I saw everyone not clutching, but just going so slow. It's what it looks like with the single file line we see right now. Here's Bryce Senesac.
Closing in on 40 laps remaining here. About 20 minutes worth of action. That is not a lot. But it's a lot of time for things to happen, but not a lot of time for things to plan things.
Another clutch. Here goes in the background. JT Poole's going inside of Shane Wolf again. It seems like there is more grip than I thought there was in that top side, where it is still usable for defense, and JT Poole cannot do anything about it. He's been a hard one to pass, Shane Wolf.
He has been, and I wonder if is it getting more challenging to pass than it was at the start, or are people just less willing to use up their trucks now because they know how bad the tire wear is?
I don't know if JT Poole is worried about using up his truck, but I think definitely, I think they definitely heard what happened with the battle of the 0-1 and 21. I think they know if they get too aggressive, James Shane Wolf won't really give it up that easily, so you got to be a tiny bit careful. And I wonder, it's really going to come down to who's going to be the first one to push. Ryan Swan's coming out of pit road. He was already a lap down. But who's going to be the first one to push and try to make time instead of saving their tires? Beckner's pushing Matheson. They're closing in on John Hall just a little bit, but not to the point where it's a battle yet. And maybe Beckner will be the aggressor, because Mason Kane, James Scioli, they're not really pushing.
Just keeping my eye on JT Poole. He threw up his hand. Maybe a little frustrated on James Shane Wolf here. Getting late in the race, and you're going to start taking rather than giving.
You have to end up firing up the popcorn machine in the background. It's going to get pretty intense. I think it's a popcorn machine. Nope, that's not. You don't need the blinking to happen.
No, his connection is not good.
Oh,
and
he is.
Sideways.
Oh, he's spinning.
He keeps it straight.
Oh, he's going to bring. Oh, he's going to bring out the yellow.
There it is. Caution out.
That was. I've seen that happen before. Sometimes when you blink out, it will put you you'll respawn basically in the race where you blinked out. That is not internet, that is computer. Yeah.
Eric Wineland missed out on the free pass opportunity there.
And he said his screen froze, so that's definitely PC related.
Yeah, we saw it happen. You can see I'm on him right now on the replay, and it will not pick him up.
And then once he comes here, he's out of control.
He almost had it locked down too.
I think he's a little less willing to keep it straight. But either way, yellow comes out, no more fuel issues, and everyone will maybe get their last set of tires. We'll see.
Yeah. Let's see. And this is going to be, so here's the thing now. We're going to restart with 35-ish to go. Now you're going to bring on the chaos if we haven't had it yet tonight. It's been a pretty calm race. This could unleash the floodgates, or it could look like the first two runs, and I don't think anybody knows what it's going to look like.
No, I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen. But at this point, all the savings done. Cameron Hearn, look at this. Cameron Hearn's on pit road destroyed. When did that happen?
Couldn't have been more than a lap or two ago.
What in the world? Something. What in the world? Already having a bad night, but.
It's right around Ryan Nowicki here. Let's see if we can spot.
Oh, he blinks out too.
And the same exact thing that happened to JT.
That is odd, and that is a huge hit to that. You don't really see hits there often at the Geico restart zone, but that is going to be his race over for sure. I don't think that's what brought out the yellow, which is odd, considering that even happened that late.
I think it was kind of happening at the same time as JT's. Let me see if that was the case at the same time as JT. So here's...
You know what?
Going back a little too far. Was it a server-related problem?
Honestly, they did happen at like the same time. We cut the JT sideways.
No, this is Cameron Hearn now. It was exactly...
Yeah, it was.
So JT, you're going to see... Hold on. Where are JT's? Yeah,
Top
okay.
left of the screen.
So so bottom right, Cameron's already spun out. And top left, JT is spinning there. So they were almost at the same time.
Yeah, those were almost identical. Hearn is in the Carolinas, where a lot of that weather is bad right now.
Where's JT located?
Mid-South, so
so
you would think somewhere around there. So yeah.
So it's either weather related or it's the Comcast pipe that we've seen have problems this season. Think back to Dover.
Yeah. As looks like they're switching that EOL to Cameron Hearn
because he was the first one to go.
Although I thought the 26 triggered it, but not that it doesn't really matter. I think the 4 is done. So if anything, it saves JT Poole from going even further back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the 26 did trigger it. He was on the surface. The 4 was not, but either way, crash happened. So,
well, there was a little bit of a shake-up. Beckner and Scioli 3rd and 4th, Justin Sogak 5th. Mason Kane loses what, 3, 4, 2 positions maybe? He definitely lost. He lost out on the 7 and 88 for sure. So I think 2 positions, pretty key positions to lose on pit road.
Yeah, not a good time for it. No, JT said, or Jason Beckner told us that JT had a tornado locally today. So that, again, I think there's a lot of infrastructure issues from the weather that we're seeing.
I would say so. It's almost funny because this track, this being a day race, almost for some reason it gives me a feel of like a rain postponed race.
Oh yeah.
Because this is not a day race usually.
Or just a race that's got weather on the way that will postpone it.
Well, look in turn 1. There's the weather. It's coming.
Yeah. Soon.
Soon, January, Rolex. It's gonna happen randomly. Betting on it. It would be so hilarious if it doesn't happen like a road race where it's like a surprise downpour. Just you're running at like, I don't know, Martinsville or somewhere, all of a sudden it just starts pouring. It's like, what the hell?
That would be actually pretty fun. I'd be all for that kind of rollout, actually.
That would be awesome. I don't think it'll happen, but it'll be so cool.
No, people are so quick to find things in I&I folders.
Oh yeah, it won't be a surprise.
All right, so John Hall and Jake Matheson are your 2 leading trucks here. Lap 87 of 120, winding things down from Darlington. Here we go. Green flag back in the air at the track, too tough to tame.
Good restart for Beckner. This is his chance to probably get 2nd from Jake Matheson, and Anasogak's going to get 4th from James Scioli as well.
It's a key position there for Anasogak to get.
Whoa, slid right in front of him. Truck's in the wall. Matheson's now he's going to be boxed in with Anasogak looking for that 3rd position.
Yeah, I think that outside line should prevail here in the center of 3 and 4, especially with the 28 on the bottom. Matheson's going to cross over and hold that spot for now. Beckner bounced off the fence, crashed behind him, the 39 of Sieg.
That is the only one to get maybe major damage out of that. I saw him on the apron in turn 3 under Adam Capps, and it might not have ended well on the exit of turn 4.
Yeah,
no, it did not.
Gotta go back a little further, and it was way down there on the apron, and tracks up, and bam.
Cap's maybe a little off the wall, but I think Sieg was going to come up in front of him regardless. That line usually works in real life, but there's just no grip down there. And that transition, when you got right sides on the banking, left side's kind of off it, that's going to make you sideways and lose control. And yeah, just kind of ran the 0-5 out of room.
There was a tiny bit of netcode there, but the reality is this gap was closing regardless of the netcode. So that will hurt Sieg more than it hurts anybody else, and he'll roll on down pit lane with some significant right front damage.
Significantly speeding as well, kind of making sure his day's done with the penalties, as we'll get another restart, and not long enough to really consider taking tires. And this was that point really last night where a lot of drivers like me and others behind me took their final set for the race. So and we didn't get a run long enough to even consider taking that set. So maybe a 10-lap run here, maybe 2 tires, but honestly might be done pitting.
Yeah, maybe. I would expect that at this stage you've done the pit stops you were going to do, except if we go another 10, 15 laps and then get a yellow, maybe.
Got about 5 people pitting at the back of the field. One of those is Wineland, who's just trying to recover from that pit stop he had.
My cat like is clinging to me right now, painfully. He just wants to hang out. He just wants to hang out, but I'm busy. Here, let's see if I can reposition so we can hang out. There we go. All right.
Yeah, I think the most you get maybe like a 8 to 10 lap run here. That's probably the most you can get to the without it being too long of a run to consider pitting. I think if you get like 15 to 20 laps, you're too close to the end to pit at that point. So it ends up being just worn tires to the end. So it's an interesting scenario, but we're like we said earlier, we're not going to run out of tire sets like last night, so we're not really going to see the same type of strategy play out.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We're still about a lap and a half away from going back green here at Darlington. About 30 laps to go this time by, and we could get a handful of yellows before this race is out, but we also could go pretty green. I have this feeling the restarts have been spacing out pretty rapidly. Trust me, if I could bring Apollo with me to all the racetracks I went to, I would do that. But one of the perks of home broadcasting.
I guess, yeah.
But I think we could also see people get desperate and bring out a string of yellows, in which case track position is the key.
Yeah, definitely track position at this point. I think we've seen some drivers give up track position in a short run. We saw Skylerly kind of give up some positions on the very first run, and it's just not panned out for him. He's been stuck in 5th ever since. Even when he gets a position on pit road, he lost it right back there to the 88. So at this point, it's almost like if you're not in the front 2 rows, you're not competing for this win unless we get some sort of crazy pit strategy end up happening and everyone decides to pit and some people don't. There's really not many different ways this race can play out at this point without chaos ensuing. But we've seen chaos plenty here already, and we're only through almost 2 races, so anything can happen for sure.
Yeah, and as far as the rest of the field here, we've got 25 running on the racetrack. Ryan Swan is 1 lap down. Everyone else is on the lead lap. From Kyle Sieg in 26th on back to Garrett Grant in 35th. That is all of the drivers that are out of this race, unfortunately, which, again, what is that, 9 out of 35, 10 out of 35? That's a pretty big portion. Yeah,
it's about just under a third, really. That's, what, 2/7 or something like that? So a pretty big chunk, but it hasn't been the same feel like we had last night. I think the attrition rate just took so long to get going because of how strong those next gens are. You can crash a number of times and still be in the race. I had 3 minutes of damage from the one crash I was in. I came back to win the race, so it shows how lenient the damage is on those things. For some reason, it's just not the same in these. That or just no one really feels like repairing it because it is a shorter race. That might have I think that has
that's
the
part
thing
of
to do
it.
as well. Yeah.
I do think these trucks are maybe a bit more fragile. The next gens, even in real life, are more robust vehicles, but in iRacing, it's almost comically robust. Where here, the crashes, I think, would take you out in the real world. They seem to have taken out their drivers tonight.
But yeah, like we were saying, the attrition rate's still pretty much as high as last night, but in a shorter race, but it hasn't really dampened the race. We still had a pretty good race. There hasn't been too many incidents, so even with the attrition rate, it's still been good stuff, but we still have just under 30 to go, and things could get much more crazy.
They might be. Lap 93 of 120, winding things down here from Darlington, the Area Truck Series. Round number 8 of the season. Here we go. John Hall's the control truck. We're back underway.
Like that driver in third's going to benefit again. Matheson's going to get second back from Travis Beckner. Scioli under Kane for that fifth position.
Gosh, it's nerve-wracking every time they leave turn 2, car on the wall.
Shane Wolf and Tom Bourne. They kept it straight somehow. Watch the entrance to 3 behind Bourne, though. They're 3 and 4 wide.
I think we've made it mostly through that. And we'll come out of turn 4 in one piece somehow.
Here goes Anna Sogak for third on Travis Beckner. Contact up ahead. They kept it straight, though. Look at this. That 88 is hauling right now, trying to. More contact. He wants this.
Yeah, these two are on each other's fenders here. And remember, Travis Beckner is not willing to give you a spot. They're in the fence.
That's one way to make the pass, just put him in the wall, and that's what Scioli needs to get by Travis Beckner, it turns out. And here comes Mason Kane. He might try to follow.
Well, that is opening Pandora's box here with 25 laps to go.
Scioli's like, thank you, I've been wanting to do that to him.
Yeah, I think Beckner's going to be driving with seeing red here, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's going to be Scioli. I don't know if he can defend it, but that puts 88 in a good spot, although he goes way too high. Oh, yeah, big slide job from Travis Beckner, and Scioli's going to cross him back over. And I think he might get him back. Oh, we got cars on the wall, turn 3 and 4, but they kept it straight. I think JT Poole was one of those with Jason Dalton. They haven't sorted it out yet in the wall. They keep it straight for now.
Still straight. Travis Beckner is wrenching on the wheel. Crash, turn 2.
Mason Kane and Beckner turns Scioli out of 2, and he's in the wall hard with David Weishart.
That is not good. Wow.
Oh, man, there's that. There it is again. They come together yet again. And I don't know who got the worst of it. It looks like Scioli's just going to park it. So he clearly doesn't think he can continue competitively.
And remember his championship scenario. He's not in a good point spot.
No.
Let's see if we can go back and catch. So it's already kind of popping off. So let's go back a little further. So the 7 ran into him in the entrance to the corner.
And then tried sliding in front of him, made contact, and then they're just beating and banging off each other. Mason Kane's an innocent bystander and all that. And then they come together off the corner. Shane Deering will take that 4th place, though, and poor David Weishart ran out of options.
Yeah. Looking at this again, how it started.
Shane Deering requested an onboard.
We'll get there. Seb kind of used him up on entry, but
then he kind of definitely
poked the bear there a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he got to kind of, it was all initiated by the 7, for sure, in my opinion. Huge right side hit there as well, but yeah, I think he tried to get a better arc into the corner, but ended up hitting a 28, and then he tried clearing, he was not clear.
Who was it that wanted it on board, Therian?
Shane Deering, right behind all this. He saw this unfold.
He had the best view of it all.
Not many pit stops there, by the way, so nothing to watch there.
Yeah, well, gosh, that 31 didn't get tagged there. Man, that was
and then
that. Yeah, if the 31 didn't get tagged, I'm not sure that it would have continued.
Yeah, when you have 3 cars in that part of a track, it's never 3 trucks, it's never going to work.
Yeah,
got away with 1 hit there, and then just bam. Then at this point, I mean, Beckner turns right a little bit.
Shane did a great job navigating through that, honestly.
He really did, but never ends with those 2, does it?
No. No love lost.
They are calling that on James Scioli, by the way.
No surprise there.
Now it kind of changes things for the restart. You do still have 2 Miller Racing trucks up there, first and second, but now you don't have teammates third and fourth. You got Anna Sogak, who looks really hungry to go for this win with the way he used up Travis Beckner, and then Shane Therian, who got through that. There's a bunch of new players at the front after all that. Even David Weishart's still 6th. He got damaged, but it looks like he won't pit.
How about Joshua Balliet, 22nd to 5th, and here he is in contention here for potentially a win. How much would that mix things up if you were to snag one?
That'd be pretty big. He is 6th in the points, so he's having a good points season, but it would definitely pretty much solidify him in that playoff race. 1 top 5 to his name this season, but 4 top 10s. So, yeah, that would be pretty huge. There's a number of players that could change the game right now. As Sam Fontaine, he's an 8th. A little harder to get that win from back here, but he's 16th in points. That win would definitely shake things up.
Would. We'll be under 20 laps to go on the restarts. These cautions, what is it with the truck races? The yellows seem to get way, way longer when you have a lap down truck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a track.
Well, the track has short yellows, and then you have, it seems like it gets 2 extra laps instead of 1 when you have the extra lap down truck.
Maybe it depends if we get the double digits or not, because we're definitely double digits down.
Yeah.
But that's going to put our attrition rate to 11 or 12. I don't know if Beckner is going to get back out there.
As
yes,
you
he
said
will.
that, he just started rolling.
Not competitively out there, but
no.
He'll continue. Scioli will not.
He's on the lead lap, though, so he could pick up any attrition that's left.
He's back there with JT Poole now. JT Poole got a black flag cleared. We do know if he got a speeding penalty cleared, that would be a penalty after the race, because they do not clear those. Remember that happened. I think Spencer Burns got a penalty for that, for getting a speeding penalty cleared. They don't like that. So we shall see, and we'll restart perfectly with 20 to go.
This 120 lap race could have been 20. You just had to shuffle the field all the way around to get to this point.
So we saw what Anna Sogak did to pass Beckner. What is he going to do to get these two? That's what I want to see. He's on a mission right now.
Here we go, 20 laps left. Question is, will we go green to the end from here? I think it's unlikely. Let's see.
We might.
Long green flag
Oh,
runs.
wow. Really odd start.
Well, even start up front between Howell and Matheson. They pretty much left at the same exact time.
Almost looked like the 88 and 38 kind of anticipated it and got a good run. Now Anna Sogak side by side for second, but I don't think he has enough to really fight the 52 for this off the corner.
That's one of the most even-looking restarts I've ever seen with this new restart model. A little 3-wide action down the back straightaway with JT Poole in the middle of it.
Sogak trying that high line to get a run. He's been running it kind of exclusively. Not many others really run for speed. Meanwhile, Balliet and Weishart for 5th. I thought Weishart was destroyed, but he's still in the top 5 spot.
Through turns 1 and 2, John Hall.
Matheson's loose. Ooh, here comes Anna Sogak. Ooh, Matheson put the block on him.
And Shane Therian's waiting in the wings too if things get dramatized up there with the front 3.
He's going to try to take this. I think Anna Sogak's got to take the runs he gets regardless.
Here he goes. Oh, there's any contact.
He is rowdy today. My gosh.
You got to get the elbows out if you want to be up front. Ooh, huge slide. 2 wide elbows.
And there goes Therian by, and he'll get back in front of Weishart at least, but that's probably going to end his chances at maybe winning, but what a drive this is still.
Weishart was packed into that Beckner and Scioli crash on the back straightaway. Here he is running 5th.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really, I guess, all right front. He really didn't get a lot of left side damage. I thought he pinned it into a wall, but it looks good.
Pretty low speed impact, so I think he got away with it there, but I don't think he'll recommend that.
No. Not good for Aero.
Nope.
Despite popular belief. Truck drivers hate this one trick.
I mean, they advertise this series in the real world with just crash after crash after crash, and how rough and tumble it is out there. Well, rarely in the sim racing world does that usually work.
No. I mean, just look at the title fight this season. That kind of shows you what that's about.
Yeah. Or they'll just the last race at Phoenix, slide out of 2. Mambro had to take evasive maneuvers there.
Kind of been quiet all day, but knock on wood, his truck's still somewhat clean.
Well, again, some days you have a quiet day, some days that's a good day.
Oh, look out. I thought he was about to get right reared by Tom Bourne. Bourne did a great job through 4, just keeping the momentum up.
Jack Joan on the high side there. Eric Wineland moving forward. Wineland's got slightly fresher tires than effectively everyone ahead of him. Save for...
Oh, there it is. Greg Mitchell on the wall and Gak Joan. They're going to keep crashing.
Oh, they had it straight.
Oh, Mason Kane to the inside. No, Mason Kane's going to come back in front of traffic.
Still straight.
Oh, my gosh. Caution's out. How did no one hit him?
Oh, we were almost about to avoid a yellow there, too.
Oh, my gosh. How did no one hit him?
Half a lap.
Joey Chapman immediately came over to the voice chat wanting his view on that.
Oh, I bet he's got it.
How did no one hit him?
Joey Chapman's on board. Let's take a look. Where's Joey right now? 12.
Also, good job of Mason Kane limiting damage, too. But my gosh, watch this. There's one.
Middle.
That's him by everything. And then looks like Senesac and I think Jason Dalton kind of came together. Mason Kane had nowhere to go. But look at Adam Capps, Ryan Swan, and a bunch of others barely avoided death.
JT Bull's on board here.
Wall at 2 as well. There's that contact. Then Kane swerves to miss the inside wall, and then, oh dear gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You get one shot to miss someone like that, and if you mess up, it's bad, but everyone did a good job getting through that somehow.
Ryan Swan probably had a pretty decent look at it here as well.
Did have Jake Matheson pit. He's pit from 2nd.
Well,
wow.
So there's a lot of trucks in the lead lap. Otherwise, I'd say that's a good strategy call here. But maybe he's banking on a few more yellows, Connor, and being able to drive through the restart a couple of times. I don't know that I would have banked on that though.
I think he thought more people would come down with him. You really only have, after this restart, probably a chance at only 2 or 3 more total.
Did he get faked onto pit lane somehow?
Yeah, we really didn't see, but...
Well, let's take a look. We have the ability.
See, John Hall. It's their teammates up ahead, so...
Going behind him. John Hall. How did John Hall not get a commitment line penalty there?
It's weird. If you go under it and come out, you don't get a penalty. But if you miss it and then go in, you get a penalty. It's iRacing's.
That's not valid. Maneuver. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't do that.
No, I don't think you can do that.
You shouldn't be able to, but
because
it's part of the iRacing. It's just iRacing being iRacing. But
that's not a rule.
I'm wondering if Matheson thought that was impossible as well after his issue. I'm sure he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
That rule is not relevant.
First off, that cone is never used almost anywhere else. The only other track I think of that actually uses that orange cone for commitment violations is Bristol.
I'm cool with using the orange cone, but it's got to be the same rule in versus out, right? You can't just change the rule arbitrarily based on which part of the surface you're on.
Yeah, it's a penalty, 100% a penalty if it was accurate.
I'm not advocating for John Hall to get a penalty. I'm just saying that it's dumb that rule works like that, because that's not how that should work.
No, definitely shouldn't be able to work like that.
But props to John Hall for knowing that and then using that to his advantage, and it might have kept one of the strongest trucks from being behind him on the restart.
Unfortunately, it might cost his teammate a better finish and cost him team points. Not that that's an issue. They're like 130 clear of the second place team, which I believe is DWR. But it brings some new players into the fight, and I think if they can get to it, more drivers that are going to be the aggressors. That specifically puts Justin Sogak in a position where he can really get rough and rowdy with those 2 ahead of him and maybe have a chance. I think the only thing that was preventing the 88 from maybe having a crack at John Hall was Jake Matheson. But now he's still going to have to get by Theron again, but this is probably what he needed, as Jake Matheson's going to restart all the way down in 17th. And he's going to have 10 laps to get through the field. I just do not see that happening.
Well, we will see how this pans out. It's going to be a 10-lap sprint. And I suppose we also said it was going to be a 20-lap sprint, then it wasn't that, but you get the idea. 10 laps to go. We could go 10 laps without incident.
2 10-lap heats.
Yes. Now we're talking.
Yeah. That's what you wanted after the long race last night. Just
No,
get some heats.
honestly, heat racing, there is a certain amount of cars that heat racing is just not fun for. And
anything above like 20.
Yeah, and then it just gets super chaotic, especially with really short races. And then long heat races kind of defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
So
it's like when they did those Dash for Cash heat races. Those didn't make sense. We've been talking about gimmicks a lot.
Yep. They do a lot of them.
Nowadays.
10 laps to go from Darlington, the Area Truck Series Round 8. Who's got it at Darlington? John Hall, great restart in the 0-3.
Already crashing. Matheson's the one crashing in his calamity at the restart line, and they're still green somehow.
They keep them all straight. But Matheson's strategy here not working out.
And just Sogak gets the second.
And everyone's bouncing off the wall now. Sam Fontaine up to 8th, looking to the inside of Colin Fambro for 7th.
That was really odd. We'll take a look at that for sure, but the 88, if he wants to get it, he's got to get it now at this point.
3 tenths back, 2.5 tenths back.
Oh boy, Fontaine's gonna fly in front of Wineland.
Yeah, he might have gotten turned there a little bit off the nose of the 21. He's gonna create a log jam here.
Oh, they somehow kept it straight though, but look at how much time they lost to Fambro and everyone ahead. They're going to go 3 wide in the background, maybe.
Yeah, they are. 0-9 and Bryce Senesac is in the middle of it all.
JT Poole is trying to use that apron, it just will not work, so Nowicki's going to have a crack at him.
All while Wineland's gotten alongside Fontaine.
John Hall still pulling a little bit, but Sogak not letting him go quite yet, as Shane Wolf really sideways around his teammate Balliet. Fontaine in the wall. There goes Dalton to the apron.
Just trucks everywhere on the backstretch.
Those are not grooves you use, but you're using almost all the grooves at this track somehow. Curhan's on the apron. He's gotten that truck repaired. He's trying to get a top 10 salvaged out of this.
Spin.
Oh, there it is.
Dalton goes around. Caution. This will likely set up. Probably not a green-white checkered, but it'll be a natural green-white checkered, which would leave us an option for one more.
I wonder if this is better for Justin Sogak to be second rather than third, because that second-place driver, as you'll see here, looks like Jason Dalton and Senesac finally just came together down the front stretch.
Same situation that we saw earlier in the night with Kyle Sieg, but that time it was 0-9 off the wall.
Yeah, so 0-9. Yeah, he came down the wall, I would say, more than the 0-2 came up. So that's where that happened. You saw Jake Matheson come through there. We still have to see.
Yeah, I did bookmark that, so we can go back and look at that. My life was changed when I learned about the ATVO bookmark feature.
It has changed the game for sure.
It really has.
Let's see, Matheson,
he just tried to go to the right of Nowicki, and there was just a truck there.
Yeah. He saw the lane open up. Yeah, he saw the lane open up, and Tom Bourne was there. And then Swan, Tom Bourne, Gak Joan, Greg Mitchell all somehow avoid causing a yellow. But
they did a great job keeping the truck straight here. Some of these trucks were wrecked.
Yeah, him and Bourne and Swan and Gak Joan. Basically all the names I already said. Yeah. That was just Matheson seeing the inside line not going in. You cannot pass on that inside before you're past the start-finish line. So he tried shooting middle to get positions, and Tom Bourne just was there. There's no lane there, so any chance Matheson had probably was done right there. He only did still somehow gain 1 spot out of that, but obviously not going to get back to the front.
So I think it's going to be, this is either going to be 3 laps to go or 2 at the restart. But if we get the 2 lap, it's a natural green-white checkered. The race distance has not been extended. We will get the opportunity to go to a real green-white checkered and extend the race distance if we were to get a yellow flag.
Tell you what, John Hall better get away, because that 88 is looking like he'll do anything to win.
You better clear that 88 by the time you get to the flag stand, otherwise he's going to drive you through the flag stand.
You better be car lengths ahead of him before turn 3.
Yeah, I think you're going to need a pretty big gap.
I would say so. I would not count out Weishart, Shane Wolf, those guys.
You have to be out of lunge distance. If you're in lunge distance, it's game over.
Yeah. So it is tough to do on restarts to get out of that lunge distance when you're pretty much full throttle through 1 and 2. It all comes down to getting that jump. But we saw the 88 and the 38 time it well, but that's when they were both on row 2. Now the 88's got to be looking to his left if he has that button mapped or has triple monitors, and just be ready to hit the gas immediately to stay with that 0-3. And it's important. He needs to clear, make sure he's not battling Shane Theory. And if they're side by side in 1 and 2, John Hall's probably gone. As we'll see next time if we get one to go, if it's natural or not. But if he is in a battle for second at turn 2, I don't know if he has a chance at John Hall.
John Hall's got a victory so far. I think is it true that the only duplicate winner so far has been Matheson? I think
Jake Matheson,
true.
yes.
Yeah. So John Hall will be the second driver to do so.
And we either get a duplicate winner in John Hall, the second of the season, or we get our 6th different winner of the season in literally almost anyone else in the field. The 88-38, David Weishart has not won yet this season. I don't think anyone else in the top 10 has won this season besides John Hall. That is correct.
Well, I don't see anyone gearing up to double up just yet. We'll see. Because if they're not doubled up coming to this lap, then we're going to get a full green-white checkered, in which case the race distance will be extended and the next caution will end the race. That's what I'm saying. Like, we got the yellow with 8 laps to go, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So that's a lot of laps to burn. Gosh.
Either way, I mean, you would expect the guys behind are going to be going crazy. It looks like we're doubling up here.
Yeah, so lights will go out this time. Yes,
they're multiplying.
So it will be a natural green-white checker. 2 laps to go. If the caution comes out, we will get one more attempt at a green-white checker.
Surprisingly, after all that, our attrition rate has not changed since Scioli went out of the race. So 11 trucks out of this. Almost exactly what we had last night. Close to it. Scioli, Sieg, Hearn, Lee, Peachin, Slaughter, Dawson Miller, Gary Waterworth, Rodson Stafford, and Mark Bernigan and Garrett Grant did not even make it 10 laps. So we got 7 cautions now, and what was a pretty solid green race until maybe around the 30 to 40 to go mark. Since then, it's been chaos.
Yeah, I mean, you can expect that, though. I mean,
of course.
Everyone realized how hard it was to pass, get the yellow, get the opportunity, and
then go.
Stop giving up spots, right?
4 wide, every corner, even if there's only 2 lanes.
Doubling up, John Hall is your control truck, and he needs to get out of Dodge. Good news, he's in a Chevy, so we'll see how it goes for John Hall here. 2 laps to go at Darlington. And green flag. Decent restart.
Didn't get far out away, but he is clear of the 88, and they'll be side by side. But they will probably not have to lift too much. But it'll be tough to get through there and make speed side by side.
Trucks bouncing off the wall, yep. 3 wide.
Dan Sogak's clear.
Mason Kane's in the middle of this big-time slide. The 52 of Matheson. Oh, they're bouncing off each other.
But they're straight.
Coming to the white.
We're going to make it. John Hall's pretty well clear. White flag's out.
Here we go. Last lap for John Hall in the 0-3. Will everyone behind make it back around, though? Oh, 60 spinning. Matheson's in it. Mitchell's in it.
Only 2. Oh, they're more wrecking, but coming into 3. Hall's got the gap. Anna Sogak not going to be close enough to really make any legitimate charge.
Here comes John Hall. Only other repeat winner was Jake Matheson, but add a list that includes John Hall. 2nd win of the season in the Area Truck Series. He wins at the track. Too tough to tame.
He was the one too tough to tame.
Yeah.
Great run for them.
Weishart 4th. James Shanewolf in 5th. Shanewolf started the race in 12th. Joshua Balliette down in 7th. Decent run for him.
Eric Weiland got back to 8th.
Yeah, good result there.
And Jake, we didn't talk about Jacob Bell all night.
No.
He got the 9th.
Quietly 9th.
As we look at this.
Yeah, and it started with the 60. He was loose after a little contact with Curhan. Matheson sends him around, and then Mitchell.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And then someone else. Oh, Adam Capps is the one who took another big hit. And then Tom Bourne, him go sliding. And that was, I guess, somehow that was it.
Yeah, I guess so. John Hall celebrates on the front straight here at Darlington.
And like I said, he was too tough to tame, that's his best win of the season by far. Obviously, he only has 2, but this one dominated all his teammates, and when he got the lead, I don't even think he ever relinquished it. He was untouchable nearly tonight.
Yeah, how many laps did he lead? 93. That's a pretty good portion.
Last season, Scioli led 105 in his win.
Yeah, decent race. Here's a look at some of the rest of the running order here, and there was a handful of drivers that ended up well down the order. A race to forget for some of them, for sure, but big field, and we had some attrition, but maybe better than Monday.
Much better.
But I think these trucks are raced a lot more like what we're going to see on Thursday, where the field's going to spread out a bit. You'll get some green flag running, and then if you get a late race yellow, game on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see that come into play. A little bit longer race we'll see on Thursday, 1:30 probably, but it'll still be compared to Monday night a sprint, but we will see that tire will be even bigger than it was. It was 2 seconds, but depending on what the time of day will be tomorrow, it might be much more fall off as we go through the order one more time. James Scioli, he's going to fall even further below that top 20 cut line, let alone not having to win. He's not even in contention where I wouldn't put him in. And obviously, some more drivers who had bad days. Cameron Hearn, Brad Slaughter, and some drivers outside of top 30 didn't even really get a chance tonight.
Yeah, and I think as far as the drivers at the bottom of the order, some of them didn't make it very far, but nights like this, you can't even be that disappointed in not getting a great result crashing out early, because chances are you would have crashed later anyway. So
yeah,
there's a little bit of silver lining. I'd rather crash in a race like Darlington, where you kind of assume you're going to get wrecked, than a place that you're going to have a great run at, because you want to save your good runs for the places you can use them, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, this was a track that everyone had circled as maybe in some ways a throwaway, because it's such a tough track to master and drive, let alone qualify well at and run at the front at. And you know that attrition rate's going to be high every time we come around here. So you really almost have to, if you know you're not good here, you kind of have to end up just treating it as a throwaway and just getting ready for where we go next week, which will be Michigan, Homestead, which are 2 tracks where almost anyone can really have a chance. Much easier and a much bigger race as we get closer to the playoff start.
Shane Therian comes home in third tonight in the number 38 Simrat Market Chevrolet. Shane, tonight, an interesting race, a lot of strategy, but it played out well for you. Ended up third after starting in 10th, and just a nice, solid, good points day for the 38 crew.
Yeah, I didn't deserve to be here. I'll just say that.
Well, you're here.
I don't know if you guys saw I went in the text chat to see if you guys go my onboard on that Scioli wreck.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I'll take it. After that, it was good. I think it's my first podium in the truck series, so I'll take it after ending my year of 2023 with a win at Charlotte and the Pro Series. I'll take a third in the trucks for the first race back, so it's good momentum.
Yeah, it seemed at times like it was relatively easy to pass, and seemed like it got more challenging to other times. How much did the track change from lap 1 to lap 120?
It seemed like the middle of 3 and 4 came in later in the run. I was watching the 88 kind of drive through the field and hold it, but it looked like they were wearing the rear tires more doing that, so the bottom was still good, but to pass you needed the outside, or to defend you needed the outside. Other than that, it was relatively the same, aside from 3 and 4 kind of changing a little bit, but yeah, it's typical Darlington.
Shane, congratulations on the P3, and good luck to you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Justin Anasogak comes home in second place in the number 88. Elbows out tonight, Justin, trying to steal the lead away there at the very tail end. Just couldn't quite run John Hall down, but phenomenal race for you in that 88 Chevrolet, especially after starting ninth and just running up front all night long. Take us through your evening.
I haven't seen you guys since Daytona.
Been a while.
But pitted lap 5 or 6, and I told the teammates, you gotta do something different other than like a different strategy. So I went down there, took tires, drove all the way up to 6 on that green flag run, and then just on restarts, getting one here, one there, and then John Hall was just too fast on that last restart. So I'm glad for second place, and I think Jacob Bell Racing all finished in the top 10, so shout out to everybody on the team.
Well, Justin, congratulations. P2 tonight after starting ninth, low of 30th during the pit stop sequences, but climbed back for second. So congrats on that. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And John Hall has the distinction of being the only other driver other than his teammate to have multiple wins on the season. John, congratulations. A dominant run tonight. It was threatened a few times, especially at the end with a whole bunch of yellows, but you were able to prevail. Lead 93 of 120 laps.
Yeah, that was a blast. I absolutely love this place. I kind of wish we could be on the wall a little bit more in 3 and 4, but it's such a fun racetrack to race at. And Yeah, I was kind of scared there on that last yellow where Jake pit, and because I was coming with him, and then I looked up in the mirror and saw how many people were staying out. I was like, oh God, no, that's not the way to go. So, yeah, great race with everybody. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it worked out great for you, John. And as far as building momentum, of course, you had some earlier in the season, but how much does this build momentum, not only for you, but for the team moving forward?
Oh, yeah, the guys, we're almost, say we're getting bored running 1, 2, 3, 4 for so long, but we can't close them out. So we got to get our head back on it to close them out. But, yeah, building momentum. The win at Daytona was amazing, but I don't know, I kind of felt like I fell off a little bit on the regular tracks, and to have one this good tonight at Darlington, someplace you got to really drive it, really means a lot to me. So yeah, get boosted confidence, and yeah, I'm going to keep rolling the second half of the season here.
Great night, John. Congratulations. Enjoy this one, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Sounds good. Just happy to have Area Shop, Calusa Pines, Alien Gear, Hucka Films, and everybody at Miller Racing supporting me and being on the truck.
Thanks, John. Congrats, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Connor, wrapping things up here from the Darlington Raceway, and tonight we saw some great racing on display, and Darlington is always a fun racetrack to slide around some trucks, but we learned some things I think that we didn't learn on Monday about how the trucks transitioned over the course of the race that we will see applied on Thursday because of the way that the trucks race in a similar capacity to the Xfinity cars. What did we learn, and how can we apply it?
We learned that qualifying is really, really important. We did, we knew that already, but I think in these Xfinity cars, in the trucks, compared to the Cup cars, I think it's even harder to pass, surprisingly, especially if we see another day race on Thursday night. We're going to see it even become harder. We're going to see more horsepower on Thursday and less, more braking. We're going to see the brakes really come into play more than we have all week as well. And it's going to be really hard to save the tires and make up track position as well as keeping it. Might see a top lane come in again, maybe see different lanes in 1 and 2. We didn't really see that tonight. So definitely going to be a similar race, more similar to tonight than we saw Monday night, but it's still going to be really, really tough. So everyone's going to have to be on their A game, and those cars are going to be out of control more than we saw. Plus the fall off's going to be more. So it's going to be a little bit of a change, but it's kind of the same principle as we saw last night. Stay up front, run up front. That's what you really need to do at a track like this, and really any car.
Darlington is a challenge. We get it one more time this week before we move on to the next round of racing. Kyle Heyer alongside Connor Horn. We'll see you next time here on Sim TV. Congrats to John Hall, and we'll see you next time on Thursday for the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series.